Good morning. Saying good morning to YouTube side. I hope y'all are having a wonderful week so far. I know it's only Tuesday, but it feels like a long week to me. So we're working 11-hour days. So getting a couple hours extra a week. It's okay with me, I guess, Ooh, extra money in the pocket. Saving for a tattoo. Well, a couple actually. There's a couple of them I want to get. My glasses are weird today. Hello, Tony. Good morning. So this is an AA meeting. Please remember to be kind in the chat. Don't harass other people on their channels, and don't pass judgment in the comments or in the chat. I always tell everybody that just because they're in the chat does not mean that they are the alcoholic. They may be the person that is trying to help a friend or family member that just don't know what to say, how to start a conversation about it. So those are all reasons I do these things, and I want it to be a nice environment for everybody. So please be mindful. I'm Sandra, and I'm an alcoholic. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. So on Friday, I did go to AA, and I got my 11-year coin from my sponsor, and I got another one from my group. What I do with mine is the same as my sponsor does with hers, and she gives me her year coin when I hit that year. And so I do the same. So I usually get two. I'll get one from the group or from my sister or my sponsor. So that's how I do mine as well, is when I get them, I get two, and one for me and one for whichever sponsee hits that milestone, and I will give it to them. But yeah, my 11-year coin. Pretty proud of that. So let's go ahead and get into the steps. You can find them in the 12 Steps and 12 Traditions book, right in the front. My ears are driving me crazy. The weather change and everything. 1. We admitted we were powerless over alcohol and our lives had become unmanageable. 2. Came to believe that a power greater than ourselves could restore us to sanity. 3. Made a decision to turn our will and our lives over to the care of God as we understood Him. 4. Made a searching and fearless moral inventory of ourselves. 5. Admitted to God, to ourselves, and to another human being the exact nature of our wrongs. 6. We're entirely ready to have God remove all these defective characters. 7. Humbly ask Him to remove our shortcomings. 8. Made direct amends to such people. Sorry, I skipped one. 8. Made a list of all persons we had harmed and become willing to make amends to them all. 9. Made direct amends to such people wherever possible, except when to do so would injure them or others. 10. Continue to take personal inventory when wrong, promptly admit it. 11. Sought through prayer and meditation to improve our conscious contact with God as we understood Him, praying only for knowledge of His will for us and the power to carry that out. 12. Having had a spiritual awakening as a result of these steps, we try to carry this message to alcoholics and to practice these principles in all our affairs. So I usually put in the description on YouTube side what we're reading, the page, the chapter, the story. And we're in chapter 10, and it's called To Employers on page 142. I'm going to start down at Whether You Mention. Whether you mention this book is a matter for your discretion. If he temporizes and still thinks he can ever drink again, even beer, he might as well be discharged after the next bender, which, if an alcoholic, he is almost certain to have. He should understand the empathetically. Either you are dealing with a man who can and will get well, or you are not. If not, why waste time with him? This may seem very severe, but it is usually the best course. After satisfying yourself that your man wants to recover and that he will go to any extreme to do so, you may suggest a definite course of action. For most alcoholics who are drinking or who are just getting over a spree, a certain amount of physical treatment is desirable, even imperative. The matter of physical treatment should, of course, be referred to your own doctor. Whatever the method, its object is to thoroughly clear mind and body of the effect of alcohol. In competent hands, this seldom takes long, nor is it very expensive. Your man will fare better if placed in such physical condition that he can think straight and no longer crave liquor. If you propose such a procedure to him, it may be necessary to advance the cost of treatment. But we believe it should be made plain that any expense will later be deducted from his pay. It is better for him to feel fully responsible. Don't you look so miserable sitting there by yourself? Sorry, Ryder's over there looking like he's pouting about something. Hello, Linda. If your man accepts your offer, it should be pointed out that physical treatment, I already read that. No, I didn't. Okay. That physical treatment is but a small part of the picture. Though you are providing him with the best possible medical attention, he should understand that he must undergo a change of heart. To get over drinking will require a transformation of thought and attitude. We all had to place recovery above everything, for without recovery, we would have lost both home and business. Can you have every confidence in his ability to recover? While on the subject of confidence, can you adopt the attitude that so far as you are concerned, this will be a strictly professional or strictly personal matter? That his alcoholic derelictions, the treatment about to be undertaken, will never be discussed without his consent. It might be well to have a long chat with him on his return. To return the subject matter of this book, it contains full suggestion by which the employee may solve his problem. To you, some of the ideas which it contains are novel. Perhaps you are not quite in sympathy with the approach we suggest. By no means do we offer it as the last word on this subject, but so far as we are concerned, it has worked with us. After all, are you not looking for results rather than method? Whether your employee likes it or not, he will learn the grim truth about alcoholism. That won't hurt him a bit, even though he does not go for this remedy. We suggest you draw the book to the attention of the doctor who is to attend your patient during treatment. If the book is read the moment the patient is able, while acutely depressed, realization of his condition may come to him. We hope the doctor will tell the patient the truth about his condition. Whether that happens to be when the man is presented with this volume, it is best that no one tell him he must abide by its suggestions. The man must concede for himself. You are better, of course, that your changed attitude plus the contents of this book will turn the trick. In some cases it will, and in others it may not. But we think that if you persevere, the percentage of success will gratify you. As our work spreads and our numbers increase, we hope your employees may be put in personal contact with some of us. Meanwhile, we are sure a great deal can be accomplished by the use of the book alone. What? He wants up here. Come here. No, stop. You made me lose my spot. Thanks. You are better, of course, that your changed attitude. I already read that part. On your employee's return, talk with him, ask him if he thinks he has the answer. If he feels free to discuss his problems with you, if he knows you understand and will not be upset by anything he wishes to say, he will probably be off to a fast start. In this connection, can you remain undisturbed? If the man proceeds to tell you shocking things. He may, for example, reveal that he has no, sir, that he has padded his expense account, or that he has planned to take your best customer away from you. In fact, he may say almost anything if he has accepted our solution, which, as you know, demands rigorous honesty. Can you change or charge this off as you would a bad account and start fresh with him? If he owes you money, you may wish to make terms. If he speaks of his home situation, you may undoubtedly make helpful suggestions. Can he talk frankly with you so long as he does not bear business tables or criticize his associates? With this kind of employee, such an attitude will command underlying loyalty. The greatest enemy of us alcoholics are the resentment, jealousy, envy, frustration, and fear. Whether men are gathered together in business, there will be rivalries, and arising out of these, a certain amount of office politics. Sometimes we alcoholics have an idea that people are trying to put us down. Often this is not so at all. But sometimes our drinking will be used politically. I gotta take this sweater off. I'm sweating to death. This dog is like a sauna. He's a sauna dog. I'll make Mama roast. Put my glasses back on. Here we go. One instance comes to mind in which a malicious individual, you're going to fall off my lap, silly, individual was always making friendly little jokes about an alcoholic drinking exploits. In this way, he was slyly carrying tales. In another case, an alcoholic was sent to a hospital for treatment. Only a few knew of it at first, but within a short time, it was billboarded throughout the entire company. Naturally, this sort of thinking decreased the man's chance of recovery. Hi, Ava. Employer can many times protect the victim from this kind of talk. The employer cannot play favorites, but he can always defend a man from needless provocation, or whatever it is, and unfair criticism. As a class, alcoholics are energetic people. They work hard and they play hard. Your man should be on his mettle to make good. Being somewhat weakened and faced with physical and mental readjustments to a life which now knows no alcohol, he may overdo. You may have to curb his desire to work 16 hours a day. You got to get down, dude. Ugh. Killing my legs. Go lay down, you're fine. He may wish to do a lot for other alcoholics, and something of the sort may come up during business hours. A reasonable amount of latitude will be helpful. This work is necessary to maintain his sobriety. After your man has gone along without drinking for a few months, you may be able to make use of his service with other employees who are giving you the alcoholic runaround, provided, of course, they are willing to have a third party in the picture. An alcoholic who has recovered but holds a relatively unimportant job can talk to a man with a better position, being on a radically different basis of life. He will never take advantage of the situation. Go see Mike. Just a minute. Go see Mike. Go get Mike. He won't go get Mike. He's at my feet wanting me to pick him up. It's heavy. And I don't want to hold him right now. Try to find my spot again. Your man may be trusted. Long experience with alcoholic excuses naturally arouse suspicion. When his wife next calls, saying he is sick, you might jump to the conclusion he is drunk. If he is and is still trying to recover, he will tell you about it, even if it means the loss of his job. For he knows he must be honest if he would live at all. He will appreciate knowing you are not bothering your head about him, that you are not suspicious, nor are you trying to run his life. So he will be shielded from temptation to drink. If he is consistent, I hate words that I can't say. Consistently, or whatever, following the program of recovery, he can go anywhere your business may call him. In case he does stumble even once, you will have to decide whether to let him go. If you are sure he doesn't mean business, there is no doubt you should discharge him. If, on the contrary, you are sure he is doing his utmost, you may wish to give him another chance, but you should feel under no obligation to keep him on, for your obligation has been well discharged already. There is another thing you might wish to do. If your organization is a large one, your junior executive might be provided with this book. You might let them know you have no quarrel with the alcoholic of your organization. These juniors are often in a difficult position. Men under them are frequently their friends, so For one reason or another, they cover these men hoping matters will take a turn for the better. They often jeopardize their own positions by trying to help serious drinkers who should be or should have been fired long ago, or else given an opportunity to get well. After reading this book, a junior executive can go to such a man and say approximately this: "Look here, Ed, do you want to stop drinking or not? You put me on the spot every time you get drunk. It isn't fair to me or the firm. I've been learning something about alcoholism. If you are an alcoholic, you are a mighty sick man. You act like one. The firm wants to help you get over it. And if you are interested, there is a way out. If you take it, your past will be forgotten. And the fact that you went away for treatment will not be mentioned. But if you cannot or will not stop drinking, I think you ought to resign." The junior executive may not agree with the contents of our book. He need not and often should not show it to his alcoholic prospect, but at least he will understand the problem and will no longer be misled by ordinary promises. He will be able to take a position with such a man which is eminently fair and square. He will have no further reason for covering up an alcoholic employee. It boils right down to this: no man should be fired just because he is alcoholic. If he wants to stop, he should be afforded a real chance. If he cannot or does not want to stop, you're heavy. He should be discharged. The exceptions are few. We think this method of approach will accomplish several things. It will permit the rehabilitation of good men. At the same time, you will feel no reluctance to rid yourself of those who cannot or will not stop. Alcoholism may be causing your organization considerable damage in its waste of time, men, and reputation. We hope our suggestions will help you plug up this sometimes serious leak. We think we are sensible when we urge that you stop this waste and give your worthwhile man a chance. The other day, an approach was made to the vice president of a large industrial concern. He remarked, "I'm mighty glad you fellows got over your drinking, but the policy of this company is not to interfere with the habits of our employees. If a man drinks so much that his job suffers, we fire him. I don't see how you can be of any help to us. For as you see, we don't have any alcoholic problem. The same company spends millions to research every year. Their cost of production is figured to the fine decimal point. They have recreational facilities. There is company insurance. There is a real interest, both humanitarian and business, in the well-being of employees. The alcoholism, well, they just don't believe they have it. Perhaps this is a typical attitude. We who have collectively seen a great deal of business life, at least from the alcoholic angle, had to smile at this gentleman's sincere opinion. He might be shocked if he knew how much alcoholism is costing his organization a year. That company may harbor many actual or potential alcoholics. We believe that managers of large enterprises often have little idea how prevalent this problem is. Even if you feel your organization has no alcoholic problem, it might pay to take another look down the line. You may make some interesting discoveries. Of course, this chapter refers to alcoholism, sick people, deranged men. What our friend, the vice president, had in mind was a habitual or whoopee drinker. As to them, his policy is undoubtedly sound, but he did not distinguish between such people and the alcoholic. It is to be expected that an alcoholic employee will receive a disproportionate amount of time and attention. He should not be made a favorite. The right kind of man, the kind who recovers, will not want this sort of thing. He will not impose, far from it. He will work like the devil and thank you to his dying day. Today I own a little company. There are 2 alcoholic employees who produce as much as 5 normal salesmen. But why not? They have a new attitude and they have been saved from a living death. I have enjoyed every moment spent in getting them straightened out. See Appendix VI. We shall be happy to hear from you if you can be of help. So, there are some employers who will understand the alcoholic problem. And not always are you going to find somebody that is willing to work with you on that problem. But for me, before I got sober, I had, will you stop? I don't want you on the table. My first actual job was camp hosting. And I got it when I first got sober. And I started AA shortly after, or right before. And I have never been shy to say that I'm a recovering alcoholic. Never been shy about it. And so my employer at that time, that's the first thing that I told her was, hey, I'm a recovering alcoholic and, some things might be hard for me to do. And she was completely understanding. Some places are very understanding on the subject of alcoholism. And even some of them are willing to help with addicts as well. But you're lucky when you find a place that will keep you on if you get sober. Not everybody gets that gift of having an understanding employer. But I was lucky and good. And I still talk to my old boss every now and then. And anytime I would go to the compound for meetings and stuff or whatever, because we used to go down there for dinner with the boss. And if they were having wine, they wouldn't drink it until I was gone. And I told them, I said, you don't have to do that. It doesn't bother me that you drink. It just bothers me when you push it on me and expect me to drink. And so they completely understood. And a lot of people do. But then I can remember being that newcomer, which was only 11 years ago. And I didn't want anybody to know I was a recovering alcoholic. But I was brave enough to tell one friend. And that friend invited me to a meeting. I had heard of AA, but I didn't know what all the jazz was about. So I went to my first meeting, and it taught me that I needed to tell people of my problem. And so I started opening up about my alcoholism and my story. My sponsor got me to do my first meeting, my first chairing a meeting when I turned 1. That was 10 years ago. And, I didn't shy away from reading the book after that because I figured I had already read stuff and I chaired the meeting and I did good, and all of those things. And then I went and did a speaker meeting, thanks to my sponsor again. And just on Friday, I offered to be a speaker at my home group. And so, and I said, my phone number is still the same. And so, I'm do a speaker meeting. And that's because everybody's story is the same, but it is very different at the same time. We all have the thing in common that we're alcoholic. And it helps knowing that you have people there that understand. And again, there are employers out there that will understand that you have a problem and that you need to have your time to be able to get yourself right so you can do your job right. And they may offer to send you to get help. Like it says, not all employees say no. that we're not going to help you, or no, you can't go to rehab, or stuff like that, because by doing that, it makes it worse on the addict or the alcoholic, because then they feel like that they can't get a break, no matter what they are trying to do. This is my dog, baby. He has to be on my lap. He sleeps in my bed. He sleeps on my legs. He sleeps a lot. But I am open and honest to everybody about being a recovering alcoholic. And but if it wasn't for AA, I wouldn't know how to act, how to think, being an employee and being a recovering alcoholic. But listen, at my other job, at my other job that I had, I met some very awesome people, and they're both recovering, and they have become my friends. One of them is actually like a sister to me, and having the AA meetings to help deal with those things, and knowing that I should never be ashamed of saying that I'm a recovering alcoholic, because that's what I am, and knowing that they can accept it or they can leave it, and that's totally up to them. I can only do my part. So, and without AA, I wouldn't know that. So, but anyways, I think that's going to be my meeting today. I'm tired. I didn't do my walking today. I worked 21 hours this weekend, so I'm exhausted. And yeah, anyways, just a minute. Let's go ahead and say the Serenity Prayer and let you guys have your day. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Keep coming back. It works if you work it. Love you guys. Be safe out there. Remember, you're never alone. If you're struggling, look up AA or NA and make a call. There's always somebody there to listen. So I love you.